everybody, this is JuJu Jay and we are going to talk about what should be in your pack for the Seven Sisters Ultra. Also for the 27 kilometers, it's just as important. I have a wide range of really cool products here and we're going to talk about what you should have, what's recommended on your list, and also other types of trail running products that I recommend you should wear for the Seven Sisters Ultra or the 27 kilometers. Okay, either way, we're going to have some fun, so sit back, get a cup of tea and enjoy the movie. Okay folks, let's dig into what you should have in your packs for the Seven Sisters offense. Okay, now what is recommended you should have on your list, I'm going to pretty much go through all that now, put it into my pack that I'm going to be using on the day for racing, and then I'm going to show you some additional jackets and shoes and a few other extras and bits and bobs that I recommend as a professional mountain runner. Okay, now I always carry rain pants. Rain pants is one of my essentials in all my runs every day of the week, no matter where I am. These ones are really small, they're really light, and they're fantastic for trail running. They have nice and tight claps at the back of your knee, so when you're running fast, there's no bagginess like your standard hiking. We throw them over there, we won't be needing them. Also, they have lovely zips at the end, so you can throw them on really quickly, take them off really quickly. Of your trail shoes, my tip is to make sure the zips are up, because when you're on the hills and you're getting cold, the last thing you want to be doing is your hands are going to be freezing. You don't want to be trying to get the zips up. Okay, so leave the zips up before when you pack them in. So when you pack them in, nice and small, roll them really, put them in the end of the pack. Okay, they also give your lower back a bit of sponge when your pack is running. It's quite heavy sometimes, it can irritate your lower back, and you don't want stuff like that to irritate you when you're doing the race. Use any pack, of course, any pack that you're comfortable with. Don't go off and buy a new pack and then race on the same day. That's also the same tip for shoes. Don't go buy a brand new pair of shoes and then go do the race. Break them all in, get comfortable with it, get to know the vest, get to know where all the pockets are, get to know your shoes, get to know, everything about your gear, your kit before the race day. Okay, so this is a 10 litre. I usually train with my Columbia 7 litre, which is very small, but unfortunately I won't be able to get, even with the lightest materials I have, I still can't get them all into my Columbia kit. So I'm going to go with my additional Scott. It's a nice little pack. It's very light. It's very comfortable on my back. I'll show you what's on now. It's empty now at the moment. Now that's pretty much it. I've got loads of intentional little pockets here for electrolytes and water, which we're going to go into now. You need two 500mm water containers, so therefore I would have two different types of these are 500 milliliters, just making sure there. You can get longer ones, which are here, which if your vest is quite low down, you don't want to bend it down because you might trip, so you can have a longer nozzle and you stick it out there, or you can have a shorter one, which again, this is here, right? Now I also recommend, if you're a person who likes to use electrolytes and stuff, the wider, see this here, the wider version of the bottle is easier when you're under pressure and racing, you're looking at time and everything else. The smaller ones are harder to get the salts and the electrolytes into. You see this small little nozzle here, and often you can get a little bit frustrated and it just takes a little longer to put in. So I always recommend when you're buying them, have a look at the wider ones. Okay, again, you can DM me and I'll help you with any information you need. Okay, so yeah, in the vest I have a sip here, which will be electrolyte tablets, which we can go over them later on again. What you need in the race is a whistle. I won't blow too loud because the dogs will go crazy. Make sure you have enough additional food to get you through the race, through the event. Okay, the weather can get really crazy. If your phone gets wet, it's not going to work. Even if you think your phone is waterproof, which most phones are nowadays, they're not smudge proof. So with your wet hands, wet gloves, you won't be able to open up the numbers. Waterproof covers. This is a nice little one. You get all these bits and bobs in shops I recommend later on. If you can't afford all them bits and bobs and you're not a sponsor like myself, then you can use a basic Tesco or whatever shop bag, zip lock at the top. That's just as waterproof. You are asked to bring a piece of ID, and I recommend you to bring some cash, because you never know when you might get a taxi. And trust me, some people do. Okay, so ID and 20 quid. You don't need to carry a wallet. All that kind of stuff is going to be way down on your backpack, which we'll go into now. Okay, so kit choice. This is a kit bag that will go into my vest now. Okay, you recommend a kit. This is a dry bag, fully waterproofed. Again, DM me later on and I'll talk about this kind of material. Loads of these lying around the mountains last year because I was filming for the Seven Sisters and I mostly fell out of people's pockets, but I picked up a few. This is one of them. And It's basically a bandage, which I recommend this. You can also use it as a sling and a few other types of things. Foil blanket, just a standard silver one. An additional one that I often would have sometimes would be a golder one. This one here, they're much warmer than the silver ones. They pack the same, they're just warmer. Spare gloves, always take spare gloves. Waterproof again. These are sealskin, I love them, absolutely brilliant. Buffs, you can never go wrong with MSR buffs. You want an MSR buff, contact me later on. Excuse me. And of course, Seven Sisters buff, Seven Sisters cap. And you see how small that little pack was. So you have to take an additional top underneath your jackets, okay? This is how small this one is. And with sleeves, I recommend with sleeves. That's a little Columbia base layer, really warm. I've worn it in really cold conditions. It goes wraps up really smally. If you can't afford one of them, you can also take the Seven Sisters top from last year, which is fantastic. Comes down to my t-shirt and jacket I'm wearing now, because I'm wearing my running gear now to show you what I'll be wearing on the day. This is a nice Columbia lighter top. They're water resistant, they're warm, so when they get wet they're actually nice on your skin. They're not fully waterproof, so for a long day on the hills, I'll go through a couple of different jackets. They have a nice kind of pulled in tight on your head, which is really a great bonus when it's really windy and weather's all over your face and you really want to be snug and tight. That's why it's very important to have a hoodie zipped up, and at the end of a jacket it's very important to have pull strings, so everything's snugged into your body. Your core's really warm, you're feeling good, you're out there enjoying yourself. Great hoodie, little thing on the back of the hoodie to pull it in tight, so everything's really tight, nothing is blown away. Now there is a version of heavier duty Columbia jacket that I don't recommend to wear. This is this one here. They're all Columbia titanium really, so the Columbia have a lot of jackets out and it can be a bit confusing at times of knowing which one to wear. So we're going to go through that now. So these are a heavy duty, more of a hiking jacket, more of a walking jacket. They're not recommended. I mean, they are waterproof, fully waterproofed, but like they're a bit more warm. There's a bit more fabric inside, which is cotton, which is not good when it gets wet, because then you're going to get cold, okay? The one that we recommend on the checklist is the outright version, which is this. This is a brand new jacket. This is an outright. I often race in a few of these. I have a bunch of them actually. And this is the outer eye, as I said. They're extremely light, they're extremely small, they wrap up into nothing, and they're just absolutely brilliant jackets. Again, if you want to buy a jacket like this, contact me in a personal DM and I'll give you a discount code that you can buy at one of our stores that I'm sponsored by. Okay, they're great jacket. Waterproof gloves are very important. We all know our hands get really cold in Ireland. Waterproof gloves are they're not cheap. So I'm going to show you a few different ways of keeping your hands warm, okay? Now these are nice little track mates, okay? You get them in another store I recommend later on. They're waterproof. I wear them mountain biking, I wear them cycling, I wear them graveling, I wear them running. They're snug as a bug. They have an inner kind of lovely fleecy fabric inside. They're easy to get on. They almost got the snowboard feel. They're a bit chunky. They don't work on your phone, but they have a lovely pull string there, which is really tight over your wrist, which will go over your watch as well. If you can't afford them, my other option would be to get a very thin merino wool glove. Now you are recommended to carry gloves, okay, and you are recommended to carry waterproof gloves, but not everyone can afford them. So merino wool's less than €10, a latex or kitchen gloves or whatever you're interested in, over the hand, over the glove, fully waterproofed. I ran 60 kilometers a couple of weeks ago in this kind of material and absolutely no problems at all. Now they're not breathable, of course, so once in a while get some air into your hands, okay? So that's that option. Mitts are lovely and warm, fingerless, brilliant, lovely fluff. Too much fluff in my opinion. Going to get wet, going to get heavy, hands going to get cold, hyperthermia kicks in, you're in pain. So you were recommended on the last of the list, hand sterilizer. You won't be carrying all that now, put that aside. Very aggressive grips. These are the mud crawls most people wear mountain running, all the sky races around Ireland, even Europe. We've wear the mud crawls for years. They're a fantastic shoe. This specific one is filthy and it's a barefoot one, so it's not for everybody, okay? What I'll be wearing on the day will be these guys. They're a minimalist shoe. They're designed for sky races, so they have a Cavalier rock plate on the back of the heel. Just take out the mud there. And so basically they're fantastic for the life vehicle with all the stones and scree banging off your heels. You don't want to get any bruise on your heels, it's very sore. These are fantastic grip. Aggressive grip like this, they will stick to anything, mountains up there, rocks, scree, and a lot of mud. You don't want something that's non-aggressive grip, where like these, they're just not going to work. It's just, you might think it is, but trust me, you'll be slipping everywhere. The downhills are quite steep, even the uphills, and the last thing you want to be doing is getting frustrated with your shoes. So an aggressive grip like so, and even the mud crawl, you'll see how aggressive they are. You can see that properly there, but yeah, these will help you running. Anything with an aggressive grip is what you're going to need, because even if it's a dry day, it's still muddy up there, and the rocks and stuff like that, you want to be something that's really grippy. Additional, cap, buff, whatever you want. I mean, I'll be wearing a cap on the day, I'll probably wear my Columbia. It's lighter, it's smaller, it's almost like a cycling cap, little peak on it. I will have a buff on my wrist, and I have an extra 2 buffs in my pack. So it's really up to you what kind of material you want to wear. My little own personal race kit I'll be carrying myself. Duct tape, because when your skin is wet and sweaty and you cut your knee or something like that, the bandage will go around it, yes, but the normal silicone tape that you use in first aids kits won't stick to your skin, so I use duct tape. It's fantastic. I'll bring in some KT tape just in case I get a cramp somewhere. I have these additional, it's additional to the race, in other words, you don't have to carry this stuff. Longer pads, so if I cut something or someone else has cut, and I can just stick them on like so, okay? They're actually very good to carry all the time. Never go anywhere without tissue paper. And tick removers. You just never know. There's another foil blanket in there. Also on the ticks, mosquito spray. It's a smell me for miles because I'll be wearing this. Keeps the midges at bay. Sunblock, because sunblock is very important to running, okay? You can dehydrate very quickly, so sunblock all over your face and the back of your neck will help you get through the race. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. The last of least is the poles. Everyone is asking about, do I need poles for Seven Sisters? I recommend yes, okay? A lot of people put poles in their vests. I recommend a little belt like this. It's very, very handy. I'll show you now. And that basically goes around like that. Snug as a bug. Has a little zip here, so you can put some electrolytes or whatever bar in there, and they're pretty much dangling there. They're not going to, they don't shake around too much, okay? And the last thing we're talking about is socks. I'm wearing now short socks and longer ankle sock. The long ankle sock is recommended, so when you have your waterproof trousers down, your ankles are not exposed. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.